Chelsea host Arsenal in the first leg of our Carabao Cup semi-final, competing for the right to take on Manchester City or Newcastle United in the final at Wembley. Here are all the numbers you need ahead of Wednesday night's cup tie under the Stamford Bridge lights. Chelsea and Arsenal meet for the 7th time in the League Cup and 3rd at the semi-final stage of the competition. We have won 4 of the previous 6. Chelsea have won 1 of our past 13 games in all competitions against Arsenal since January 2020. The sole victory in that time came at the Emirates Stadium in August 2021, when to first half goals from Romelu Lukaku and Reece James secured the 3 points. After winning 5 consecutive home matches between 2013 and 2017 all in the Premier League, Chelsea have not won any of our last 6 matches at Stamford Bridge against Arsenal. 3 draws, 3 defeats. Our last home win against the Gunners was in August 2018, when Maurizio Sarri's side won 3-2 in the Premier League. Chelsea have played more games against Arsenal, 212, than against any other opponent, 13 more than against Liverpool, and 14 more than versus Manchester United. This match will be our 99th meeting at Stamford Bridge and more competitions. Liam Rosenior is the first Chelsea head coach to win their first game in charge since Antonio Conte in 2016. The 5-1 scoreline was the biggest win on debut of any manager in our history. The next best was when Luis Felipe Scolari won his first game 4-0 in 2008. Saturday's result was our biggest away win in the FA Cup since 2016, when we beat MK Dons in the 4th round by the same score. Chelsea have progressed to the League Cup final from 10 of our last 16 semi-finals, including the past 3. Arsenal were the last team to knock us out at this stage, into 0-17-0-18. The Blues are aiming to reach our 11th League Cup final. Chelsea are competing in the semi-final of a major cup competition for the 63rd time, 17 of which have been in the League Cup. We have lifted the trophy 5 times, most recently in 2015, and only Liverpool, Manchester City and Manchester United have won it more often. Arsenal have won it twice, in 1987 and 1993. Arsenal may be away from home in the first leg, but the Opta supercomputer gives them a win probability of 49.6%. Mikel Merino has scored in his last 2 games against Chelsea, both in the Premier League last year. The last Arsenal player to score in 3 or a row against the Blues was Ian Wright between 1992 and 1994. Arsenal have been eliminated from their last 4 semi-final ties in all competitions, the longest run in their history. Liam Rosenior will face his first major test as Chelsea boss when the Blues entertain Arsenal the EFL Cup semi-final first leg at Stamford Bridge on Wednesday. Rosenior got off to a winning start at the weekend after arriving from Strasbourg, guiding his side through a 5-1 victory over Charlton Athletic in the FA Cup 3rd round. However, the Englishman's first match since taking over from Enzo Maresca only had such an emphatic scoreline thanks to second-half stoppage time goals from Pedro Neto and Enzo Fernandez. Rosenior made 8 changes to the Chelsea line-up for the trip to the Valley, with Tosin Adarabioyo, Moises Caicedo and André Santos the only survivors from the disappointing 2-1 loss to Fulham, the Premier League, under caretaker boss Callum McFarlane. Wednesday's match is more likely to see Rosenior select what he considers to be his best side given the strength of the opponent, and Alejandro Garnacho will hope he did enough against Charlton to earn a starting spot. The Argentina international has been involved in 8 goals in his last 5 EFL Cup appearances, 5 goals, 3 assists and scored twice from the bench and a 3-1 victory over Cardiff City in the quarter-final. Chelsea have strong form at this stage of the EFL Cup too, having progressed from their last 3 semi-final ties. However, they lost in the final on each occasion, and the last team to beat them in a Final Four encounter was Arsenal in 2017-2018. But the Gunners went out at this stage last season when they were comfortably dispatched 4-0 on aggregate by eventual champions Newcastle United. Gabriel Martinelli came in as one of 10 changes made by Mikel Arteta and bagged a hat-trick following the criticism he faced for pushing an injured Conor Bradley in the goalless draw with Liverpool last week. The Premier League leaders were also boosted by the return of Kai Havertz after 5 months out, and he will be hopeful of adding to the 20 minutes he got off the bench at Fratton Park. Defensive duo Riccardo Calafiori and Piero Hincapié are unlikely to be fit enough to feature. The Italian has been out with a reported muscular injury since last month, while Hincapié sustained a groin problem against Liverpool. Chelsea will be without Caicedo, who is suspended after getting his second yellow card in the competition against Cardiff. Marc Cucurella is back from his ban, but Cole Palmer, Reece James and Malo Gusto are potential doubts after being rested at the weekend. This is the third time Chelsea and Arsenal have met in the EFL Cup semi-finals, the fourth fixture to have been played that many times at this stage of the competition. Arsenal versus Tottenham, Chelsea versus Tottenham, and Manchester City versus Manchester United have been played 4 times. They have already met in the Premier League this season, which ended in a 1-1 draw at Stamford Bridge in November. Caicedo was sent off in the first half, but Chelsea still took the lead through Trevoh Chalobah early in the second half. Mikel Merino equalised for Arsenal soon after. Arsenal have been the best team in the country this season. They have only lost twice in all competitions, and that is shown in the Opta Supercomputer's projections. The visitors are favourites to win the first leg, coming out on top in almost half of the simulations.